Hi everybody. This week we are going to be focusing on Mexican culture. To do that, we are going to be studying Frida Kahlo, an amazing female Mexican artist who is known for her self-portraits and her surrealist style. We are also going to be focusing on Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead, and creating sugar skulls. To start off, we are going to be reading a book, a fun little book called Frida Carlo. It's going to introduce us to Frida Kahlo and who she was as an artist. In this story, they changed some of the words to be a little bit silly and to focus on the fact that this book has to do with her being a cat. So it gets a little silly, but try to figure out what those words are. All right, I hope you enjoy it. Frida Carlo. Frida Carlo was a talented artist born in Mexico City in 1907. Mexico City. She and her family lived in a house called La Casa Azul. Frida and her father, Guillermo, were very close. He taught her all about photography. She would even help him develop portraits. When Frida was young, she got into awful accident. She stayed home to heal and had a lot of time on her paws. So she spent it painting until her art was perfect. Frida's first paintings were portraits. She needed models, so she painted her sisters and her school friends. Frida was inspired by her Mexican heritage. She dressed in traditional clothing, and she often wore flowers in her fur or hair. While she was in school, Frida met Diego Rivera, a famous Mexican artist. She showed him her art and they developed feelings for each other, or feelings. Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo got married in 1928. Diego and Frida were painters for her entire 9 lives. In 1939, Frida was invited to France to show her portraits at a gallery. Paris's most famous museum, the Louvre, bought one of her paintings. It was the first work by a Mexican artist that they had ever purchased. Frida had a fervent love of animals and often included them in her portraits. She had a pet deer, 2 spider monkeys, a parrot, and an eagle. One of Frida's most famous works features a spider monkey. It is called Self-Portrait with Monkey, and it hangs in the MoMA in New York City. The MoMA is the Museum of Modern Art. Frida Kahlo was often called a surrealist painter. However, Frida insisted that she only painted reality. Some of her most famous paintings include the Mew Fridas, a few small catnips, and Dogo and I. Frida Kahlo is one of the most famous female painters of all time. Although she didn't sell many portraits during her life, many of her paintings are now worth millions. Her paintings can be seen in museums from Washington, D.C. to Mexico. Fans of her artwork can visit La Casa Azul and see where she grew up. Her colorful style will not ever be forgotten. I hope you all enjoyed this story. We'll be talking more about Frida Kahlo later this week. Thanks for joining in.